Hello my friends, this is Mike here. Wanted to make a video today for you about the Lionsgate energy 888, 2 days from now. It's been pretty intense coming up to the Lionsgate and then to the solar eclipse after that. Wanted to talk a little bit about that, and also something I wanted to speak with you about was a thing called surrender to your divinity. It's really funny talking about surrender because growing up in a Baptist church, I always think of the song, I surrender all. And I get a laugh because I didn't, back then I had no idea what that meant. Had no context, no genuine motivation to understand it or see what it really meant. And so what I wanted to talk about today was something that's helped me so much, and I think it can help a lot of us, is surrendering to your own divinity. And for me, it's an extremely important thing as far as learning to meditate and meditate effectively, because for years I would try and meditate and have expectations about it, things that should happen and things that shouldn't happen. And when those things did or didn't happen, I would come to the conclusion that I was not doing it correctly, or I was incapable of doing it correctly. And so what I've learned is that to really connect with your higher self or your Christ self, you have to learn to not meditate as a person, but to surrender to your divinity and be meditated upon, perhaps, by your higher self. Because if you're trying to do it as a person, you're never going to get as far as you could get, especially in a timeline like this, the Lionsgate timeline, and the solar eclipse timeline. And so something that a way I understand it is, whenever you surrender to your divinity and meditate as the Christ self, you don't have expectations about what you're meditating on. There's nothing to prove. You're not a person with a past that has projections on what should be happening, how it should be happening. You're not in control. But the truth is, you're not in control of it. So the way I like to see it is calling on the pure essence of a blessing. So, like, for example, lately I've been really diving into the 7 sacred flames, the 7 rays. And to call on the pure essence of a blessing, you can only do that as your higher self. You can only do that by surrendering to your own divinity, and not by trying to do it as a person with a past, with fears and doubts and limitations. And so when you call on a blessing, like, for example, like the first ray of divine will, you can only receive the blessing to the degree that you surrender to your own divinity and you call on the blessing as your higher self. And this is amazing and powerful, because in the world today, in the Ascension timeline, we are not able to heal the world and really step into the Ascension timeline for Mother Gaia as physical beings, as people with a past. That's just not possible. But as the true identity within us as our higher self, the Christ self, we are absolutely able to call upon the higher energies and transmute the fear and unconsciousness in the world. And you can't do that as a person with a past, but you have to learn to surrender to your own divinity and call upon the pure essence of the blessing, which it can be so many different things. There's so many different energies and blessings coming to the earth from the ascended masters, angels, archangels, the seven rays, the galactics, the great central sun, mother, father, God. And this is such an amazing time to be alive, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful to be able to speak like this. I think this is an example of surrendering to your divinity. Like, the only reason I'm able to do this is because I'm doing this as a upgraded version, integration of my higher self and my physical self. Like, if I was doing this as a person with a past, I would be extremely awkward and weird, whatever that means. And I would not be able to do this, but I've learned to call the energy of my divinity into this body. And you do that by surrendering to your divinity. Everyone is divine. And our mission is to help people remember that we're worthy of that. Everyone is divine, and nothing can change that except our own free will. And yeah, that turned out kind of awkwardly for us all. So that's what we're here healing. And so with the Lion's Gate coming up, I wish everyone the best for that. And maybe go out and plant a few crystals to further anchor and upgrade the Christ consciousness grid. And maybe call upon some Syrian energy for that. and then the solar eclipse. Let's call it Father, Mother, God Day. Father, Mother, Child Day. Holy Trinity Day. Day of the solar crown. The solar Christed crown. And so I encourage everyone to go see it if you can. I'm going to be there in near Cherokee, North Carolina. And so this will be the end of the video, and I'm so grateful for everyone that listens to this, and I'm grateful for this place, this time, all of the masters and teachers and angels and energies available to the earth, and my higher self that allows me to do this. And I thank you so much. My other hand is holding the camera, so I give you a one-handed bow. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved.